Hey everybody again, YG Unboxer aka Kelly Gillies coming at you guys with a Magic the Gathering deck tech. Today's deck tech is a Simic deck tech that I have personally built myself and is seeing some pretty nice play in Standard right now. It focuses on the evolve ability of the Simic cards. So let me get through, start going through this. It is very creature heavy. And only runs, I think, 12 non-land, non-creature cards. So, our first card is a 4-of, is the Skyfin Raptor. Oh my god, Skyfin Raptor. Cloudfin Raptor. It's a 1-drop for a 0/1 flying. And what I like about this is it also has Evolve, which the Evolve allows you to make this creature bigger. And since he's just a 0/1, he gets bigger and bigger just with the slightest creatures. So it's a really great card to have. Not the best card in this deck, but personally, he's one of my favorites. And these are all in order of mana, by the way, like cost. So our next card is 4 Experiment 1s. Once again, a first turn drop, except not as helpful as Cloudfin Raptor, but it is a 1/1 with Evolve for 1 green. And this creature over time can get severely big. Like, it's just amazing how fast these cards can get big, especially if you start running cards like Thragtusk. But personally, I really don't like to run Thragtusk because I think he just slows down my deck. And I know you guys are gonna all hate on me, but I don't even have one and I don't feel like spending $100 just to get a playset for this deck. It already cost me enough. But our next card is 2 Shambleshark for a green and a blue. You get a 2/1 with Flash and Evolve. This card is pretty much just a chump blocker. He kind of just gets out there trying to protect your creatures and stuff for you. Pretty simple card. Not as good of an Evolve because it's bigger, but it's still good. And this next card, which I run 2 of, is Nimbus Swimmer. Nimbus Swimmer is a great card because it's, for 2 you're essentially at least going to get a 1/1 flying. But late game this card can really screw over your opponent once you get out a ton of lands, because for however many lands you tap, you get that many 1/1 counters. So let's say late game you have 10 lands out, so you tap them and then you get an 8/8 flyer. Sure, it doesn't have Evolve, but it's a great card to run in this game for late game / mirror matches, because you end up running into a lot of flying Evolve creatures, and Nimbus Swimmer being a flyer can, protect you from that. So our next card is a 3rd turn drop, Elusive Krasis. It's unblockable and it's a 0/4 with Evolve. Now, most people don't like this card, but personally I like it because it's unblockable, and if you can get this out 3rd turn and start getting out the bigger creatures after, you can actually get him to become really big. And the thing about Elusive Krasis is, since that you're most likely going to have a creature with at least 1 power, it's going to make him bigger. As long as the creature coming out has power or toughness greater than that creature, they'll get in another 1/1 counter. Now, this card doesn't have Evolve again, but I personally think it's a great choice, is the Drakewing Krasis. It's the other Krasis card. For 3, it's a 3/1 flying with Trample. Once again, great card. Just runs over your opponent, and even if they block with it, you're still running them over. And it won't actually really ever get bigger, but it's just a great card to protect against an opponent's onslaught of flying creatures, or even... It can even kill things like, I really actually don't know right now. I was kind of stuck on what I was going to say, but it kills pretty much any 3 or lower cost. Power, toughness, The next card is 4 Master Biomancer. He's kind of like the main boss monster of Simic right now, next to Zegana. And for 4, he's a 2/4, and if you guys can't read that, sorry, my lighting here is just a little off. Each creature you control enters the battlefield with extra +1, double +1 counters equal to Master Biomancer. So, like, if you put out Master Biomancer, then you put in Crowned Ceratok, it's going to gain 2, so it's automatically going to become a 6/5. So he's like the biggest card you'll have in this deck. And our next card, I like to run these instead of any Thragtusk getting in the way, is Crowned Ceratok. Or Ceratok, whatever you want to call it. It's a 4 cost for a 4/3 trample, and each creature with a 1/1 counter has trample. So late game, this defines Simic from Simic and Simic from the other guilds. This card is possibly one of the best win conditions for Simic. Our next card is 2 copies of Prime Speaker Zegana. So it's a 6 cost for a 1/1 and enters the field with X +1/+1 counters on equal to the highest power of creatures you control. So if you have a 5/5 out, it'll become a 6/6, and then you also get to draw cards equal to its power, so that's instantly 6 cards. This is the boss monster of the Simic right now, and it is great for late game because you get to draw, and then it also gets trample along with Master Biomancer and Ceratok. There's just great cards. And 2, late game, it can also, you know, just run over your opponent. Now this next card, I run one of, Fathom Mage. It's a 4 cost for a 1/1. And actually, these ones aren't in order for mana cost just because I only run one of them. But Fathom Mage is just for draw power with Evolve, and same with Zameck, but he's without the draw power. He allows you to draw cards just by removing 1/1 counters. So, on to our other spells for today. We have, well, I guess in this case it's an artifact. 2 Simic Keyrunes. It adds blue or green, so it's just another mana source. Or, it also becomes a 2/3 blue and green crab artifact creature with hexproof. So, another chump blocker, or if you really need it to be, it can be just a really great mana source. A personal favorite of mine, if you just can't get any other creature cards, you Rapid Hybridization your Experiment 1s, or you can destroy opponents' big creatures and make them into smaller 3/3 frog lizard creatures. But I usually use it on Experiment 1 if I don't have any other creature cards in my hand. So it's a good choice for misplayed cards and stuff. Next one, every blue deck has to have some form of counter spell. So I chose Syncopate. So it's a 1 blue and X and counter spell, and then your opponent has to pay X to negate the effect of this card, and if you do counter it, you exile it instead of putting it into the graveyard. So late game, this can destroy Thragtusk and stuff, or it can kill like Gravecrawler, Geralf's Messenger, all those from, you know, getting onto the field and activating their abilities or using their Undying. So our next card is the Simic Charm. So it's a 1 blue, 1 green, and you either get to give a creature +3/+3, hexproof, or return target creature to its hand until the end of turn. Except for the hand one, it's permanent. This is generally used to buff up a creature or to return an attacking creature to its hand. It's one of the worst ones out of the charms, but it still is good to run in this deck, so I do like it. Okay, so anyways, on to our next card is 2 copies of Aetherize for 4. Return all attacking creatures to their owner's hand. This is primarily used against mirror matches, just because they do use a lot of cards, or even Boros, because Boros can get annoying. And our last card is, my friend uses this, is Urban Evolution. It's a 5 cost, draw 3 cards, and you may play an additional land. I just really like this because late game it allows you to make your cards like Nimbus Swimmer and stuff way bigger, and it also allows you to draw more cards, get out more cards, and just smash your opponent's face in. So for our lands, I do run 20. I'm not sure about this yet, but right now I'm just playtesting it. And my first land is going to be 4 copies of Breeding Pool. First turn, you can just let it enter without doing damage to you if you don't have a card to play, but if you do, you take 2 life to keep it tapped. But it's a great first turn card, actually. And being a dual land, it gives you both blue and green. Another blue-green mana source is 4 copies of Hinterland Harbor. And now this one enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a plane, not a plane, a forest or an island. So if you can get out Breeding Pool or any of your basic lands that you run in this deck, it doesn't tap. Now, I'm a little weary on running this card, and I do run 4 of it, but I do like it first turn, or even late game if I don't really need the mana, is 4 copies of Simic Guildgate. It's another green-blue mana source, but it enters the battlefield tapped. So it's kind of like Breeding Pool, but without the dual land type slash like pain. It's actually, I guess it's like all dual lands, because most dual lands enter the battlefield tapped. And then anyways, onto our basic lands, we run 4 forest. And then our last basic lands, we run 4 islands. So, I do not have a sideboard made for this video, but I will have it up later if I do change this deck around a lot. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and I am excited to announce a contest coming soon. So please stay tuned on my channel, please comment, rate, and subscribe, and please tell me what you guys think of this deck tech. I'll see you guys all next time with another video, maybe a pack break, booster box opening, contest, you know, something. See you guys all later.